How you hold your team accountable is the difference between success and failure in the insurance industry. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through my processes on how I'm holding my team accountable to their goals on a monthly basis. Stay to the very end of this video where I'm going to reveal two major tips that I've recently implemented in my agencies that are going to help increase production, and I know they'll help you increase yours as well. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Sakha. I've grown a few insurance agencies to about $5 million in agency premium in the last 5 years. I'm also in the process of acquiring a third office, which would be another $5 million book that would hopefully bring me to $10 million in agency premium. Doing all of this in just 5 years. I still have a long way to go. I'm just like you. I'm learning as I go, but I'm just trying to share all the success secrets that I've learned and everything that I'm doing as I continue to grow as well. So be sure, if this is your first time tuning in, subscribe for all things insurance, entrepreneurship, and self-development. Also, follow me on all my social media accounts as well. And destroy the like button if you get some value. It helps me grow this channel, so I would appreciate that. Let's get started. So again, I've been an agent for about 5 years now, and so my systems and process are ever changing. However, how I hold my team accountable for the most part is the same, and it has been the same, for about the last few years since I've kind of understood how to hold my team accountable and what works for us. Now, the most important part to holding anybody accountable in any organization, whether that's sales, any company that you're in, the most important part of getting the best out of your people is to understand what's important to them. What I do here at my agency is at the beginning of every, orientation, every new employee I bring in, I want them to write down and to hand over to me, pen to paper. I want them to write down the 10 most important things that they're trying to accomplish in that year. Okay? Why? Because I want them to be clear on it, and I want to be clear on it. I want to know what it is that they're working towards, so that way I can help them get there. Once I know that, then I can help reverse engineer with them exactly what we're going to do to get there. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Let's say that I have an employee that wants to save up to buy a house, and they want to do this in the next year. Okay, so they have 12 months to get anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 to put for a down payment on that house. How are we going to get there? Okay, so let's just say that they need to earn a total of $1,250 per month in commissions, right, to be able to save up for that down payment. Now I know exactly how to hold them accountable. Now I know exactly what their goal needs to be in sales and how much premium they need to sell, how many policies they need to sell to be able to reach that goal. Now all of a sudden I'm not holding them accountable to my goal of the agency, I'm holding them accountable to their goal. And this changes the whole dynamic because now they know that, okay, I want to buy this house. I'm doing this for me. It's not even about Nick and his agency. I'm doing this for me. And so if you're not doing that, if you're not asking your team what it is that they're working towards, maybe it's putting their kid through college. Maybe they want to start a side hustle. Maybe they want to open up an insurance agency like you. You need to help them get there, and you need to create goals within your agency that are going to help them reach their goals as well as help you reach your agency's goals as well. So that's the most important part of accountability, is knowing what it is that they're working towards and then creating a game plan to help them get there. And then, of course, finding out the activities necessary to help them close that much business. And that's where I would start if I were you. Find out what's important to your team. Once you know what's important for your team, then you can create the activities and the goals and what they need to sell every single month to be able to get there, okay? So one thing that I have in my agency, and I'll blast it up on the screen, is my pyramid of expectations, okay? This is what I measure my team off of every single day. Now, I don't want to break this down for you guys. Every day I'm expecting the following. If the most important thing every single day to meet your minimums at my agency is that you sell at least 2 items. 2 items for the company I represent is about $1,000 in premium written. There's about 20 to 21 to 22 business days in a month, every single month. And so if they're reaching $1,000 in premium, that's $22,000 in premium. I can live with that, right? It's about 40 some odd items. I can live with that. And so that's the minimum. That's what they need to do every single day. If they did not do that, then let's go next on the pyramid. Next on the pyramid is, did they quote 10 households? So again, first I'm checking, did you sell a policy yesterday? Did you? Yes, no, yes, no. Okay, cool. You didn't? Let's check. What did you do next? 10 households. Did you quote 10 households? 10 households is anywhere from 15 to 20 quotes altogether, because hopefully they're quoting auto, home, auto, renters, etc. You get it. Did they not do that? Okay, let's go next on the pyramid. 3 hours talk time. Were you on the phone for 3 hours? Because if you're not on the phone talking to people, then you're not having meaningful conversations, and you probably don't have a pipeline. You're probably not having, good quality conversations that are going to convert into business. Did you have at least 3 hours talk time? Every solid phone call when we're selling policies is about 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. That usually equals a closed deal. So I do measure talk time. If they did not have 3 hours talk time, the next on the list is, did you have at least 200 calls? So this, guys, is the reason why I don't have to micromanage my team. I don't have to sit there. If I walk by one of my employees and I see them on their phones, I'm not tripping out too much. Why? Because I know their numbers at the end of every day. Okay? And if they're not even close to these activities, then I know that they're not going to be successful in my office. If you're not even putting up the effort, then you're going to get fired really, really quickly in my agency. If I see that you're not even trying, right? So you didn't close any policies, you had a very minimal amount of quotes, or you didn't have that much talk time, and you barely even called people. What are you doing all day? Okay? And so this allows me to see exactly what they're doing on a daily basis. My phone system allows me to track phone calls, activities, talk time. And my next point, which I'll get into, is going to go over how I hold them accountable to these numbers based on weekly, daily huddles and monthly meetings. But that, guys, is most important. Also, I would also say that what's also important here on the pyramid of expectations, I'm asking them to monitor that if they're asking for referrals, they need to be asking for referrals each and every client. Are they posting on social media daily? Or at least every other day. They need to make a social media post saying, hey guys, hit me up for a quote. Hey guys, hit me up for a quote. We do creative, funny marketing. We do reels, TikToks, all sorts of things that kind of capture people's attention. But you've also got to add a call to action as well to get your social media following to contact you for a quote, right? So I'm holding my team accountable to social media posts for asking for referrals. And every week, I want them to go out marketing. I want them to go building partnerships with insurance offices, with mortgage offices, with a handful of car dealerships. And we used to market to apartment complexes, but not so much anymore. But that is my pyramid of expectations. Every single day, I'm holding them accountable to those activities, because if you do those activities, you will inevitably be successful in my agency. But again, this is holding them accountable to what they have going on. So if their numbers, right? If a team member wants to save up 50 grand to open up an insurance agency, that means that his activities arguably need to be even higher than the minimum, right? These are just my minimum expectations. But if they have big, audacious goals, you best believe that they're going to have to increase those activities if they expect to reach the goals that they have. My third step to accountability is, when are you going to go over the numbers with your team? And so for us, we have a morning huddle every single day at 8:45. Those meetings usually go around 15 to 20 to 25 minutes. And what we're essentially doing is we are tracking and we're going over with the entire team. We all hop on a Zoom call because we have 2 different offices, and we're going over, successes. We're going over opportunities. Morning huddles is a great way to hold your team accountable, so that way they see their numbers, and every morning it's the day prior's activities, right? Also, another thing we do is daily accountability. So at 12 p.m., at 3 p.m., and at 5:30 in our Zoom chat, everyone's putting their activities. I need to know that if it's 3 p.m. and we don't have any sales, I need to know what the activities are. So if I'm not at the office, or if I'm out of the country, or if I'm, just not there that day, I can pull up Zoom and see exactly where my team is trending towards, and I can send a message, or I can ask my sales manager, hey, what's going on? Why are the numbers so bad? And so that to every employee tells themselves that, they don't want to post bad numbers, right? So they're going to make sure that their numbers look good enough to justify if they don't have any sales, so on and so forth. So this really works for my agency. And so another thing that you also want to know is that at your team monthly meetings, you also want to track the numbers. You want to look at total quotes. You want to look at total sales, and not just, so much the outcomes, but the processes as well, to hold them accountable, because I'm a firm believer that if you do the activities, you will get the result. It's a guarantee. And Jay-Z has this line,
men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
People can give you excuses, right? But numbers tell you everything you need to know, right? So if I have an employee that's saying, Nick, I'm trying real hard, but nobody's answering. Okay, how many phone calls have you made? I made 40 calls. What? That's nothing, right? What do you mean nobody's answering? Make more phone calls, right? Or if someone's saying, yeah, I'm quoting people, but we're just not competitive. Well, how many people have you quoted? 3 people? That's not enough. You need to quote more people, right? So going over the numbers that you are going over the numbers that are for your activities is so important. So just make sure that you have a system or a schedule to where you're going over these numbers with your team on a regular basis. So that way they know exactly where they're at. Another tip that I wanted to share with you guys, like I said at the beginning of the video, was identify what your close ratios are per producer. So I know that a lot of times we can look at the statistics of our agency, and this is what our agency's close ratio is. Maybe your close ratio is 10, 15, 20%. So what that means is pretty much out of 10 people that you quote, if your close ratio is 10%, you close 1 out of every 10 people that you quote. But I learned recently that it's important to break that down per producer in your agency. That way, so let's just say one of your guys has a 20% close ratio, and he misses his goal by a couple $1,000s in premium or a couple of insurance policies. Well, now you can break that math down. Hey, your close ratio is 20%. That means that if you would have only quoted, let's just say 50 more people or 30 more people, that would have turned into this much more in sales. And so it's a numbers game, right? And all you have to do is just break down what each producer's close ratio is, and be able to let them know what that is. So that way they have a clear idea of what they need to do to reach certain outcomes. And so hopefully you will break down what each producer's close ratio is and use that. It's been a game changer at my office. I just learned to do this. And essentially how you find each person's close ratio is take their total amount of insurance policies sold and divide that by the total amount of quotes that they had in any given month, and that will tell you what their close ratio is. And you might want to do this and maybe every month or every other month, so that way you have a clear idea of what it is most recently. A second tip that I have for you guys is regarding internet leads. Now, in my office, for the first, 4 years of my business, I just had internet leads for the entire state of Nevada, meaning that just wherever, if anyone's shopping for insurance, just give me those internet leads and I'll take them. But that's not smart. What's smart is finding out the particular zip codes that are working for, your company's appetite, where you're most competitive, where the rates are the best, or where, you're having the most success. And so you'll definitely want to be able to measure the zip codes that are working, where you're closing the most business, and do that on a quarterly basis. So that way you're getting the most recent data that's going to help your agency close more business. Because I'll tell you, in the beginning of my journey, I just let the leads run to any given zip code, and And I was buying internet leads for certain zip codes that I don't close any business for. So why would I continue to buy internet leads in these zip codes? I'm literally just throwing away money. And so I hope this tip will help you guys find the data where you're closing the most business and then just 10x in those zip codes. So I hope that helps you guys. I know that that's something that I've recently started to pay more attention to, and I know that it'll help you guys increase your results as well. And so those are my tips, guys. Today, to recap, we went over how I hold my team accountable and what you guys can do too, as well as 2 other tips that have really helped my agencies. If you guys got some value out of this video, do me a huge favor, destroy the like button, smash it, and follow me on all my social media platforms as well, and subscribe. I talk all things entrepreneurship, insurance, and self-development. I drop a ton of videos and interviews regarding those subjects. And so thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Peace. And lastly, if you and your team are looking to change the way you guys do business, if you're looking for additional coaching and training, I've been using Craig Wiggins coaching for the last 4 years, and it has changed the way we do business. A lot of my content on YouTube is what I've gotten from Craig Wiggins coaching. If you and your team, or maybe you work for an agency, get your agency owner on board, go to craigwigginscoaching.com. Sign up for the monthly training. You can have unlimited users, and it's only $177 a month. But if you use the discount code Sakha, my last name, Sakha, you will get $100 off your very first month. Tell them I sent you. I promise you it'll help you and your agency. Thank you guys. Peace.